having more confidence in Vivo Keyd Stars, in Red Canids versus Pain, who had a strong start to their split, but then a weaker finish. Red Canids and Vivo Keyd Stars seems to be the one that they're really putting their money on. So let's see how it goes here as we are into the draft. Shopify blue side game one. They'll ban out Silas and Galio.
So that is some good, prep by the coaches here for Shopify, banning away the Silas from Kaze. That is one of the biggest champions for him. Everyone's always talking about. Some of the South coaches that played against Red even had to apologize for leaving up Silas for him later on to play against them. And so good job there by Revan. Of course, Revan definitely very well aware.
I mean, I want to call that out specifically, though. 4-0 this split with a 17 KDA on Silas for Kaze. So
pretty good numbers.
You would have to apologize.
I feel like we're going to have to continue talking about that throughout the rest of the series, because when Shopify goes red side, the bans become a little trickier, and we'll see if they're willing to let him have it.
Yeah, Kaze is cool, though, because he also, has played these mid-Zed games. He does like to play melee assassins, but also Orianna is a very good pick for him as well. So he could just go regular mage. Orianna is left up at the moment, and in the current meta, that is one of the primo mid lanes.
Well, speaking of primo picks, here in the North, Pantheon has gotten through exactly twice all split long. Out of 62 possible games, he's gotten through 2 times. One of them was yesterday, where it got let through in the cross-conference play. And so far, it's only been River that's been allowed to play it. North teams just do not want to play against this champion. Obviously, it doesn't have that same level of extreme priority in other regions. The South teams are going to let it through, and Shopify are happy to lock that in first pick here for contracts.
And Pantheon, does combo really nicely with stuff like Talia, the point and click stun to set up the seismic shove, which Palafox really does like that champion as well. So we'll see what they combine that Pantheon with to have some global. But looking at the other side here, the Rumble priority is still there despite the nerfs. And they're going to go with the Trundle right into the Pantheon.
Yeah, the Trundle makes sense to me. That is what the North teams played into it when they did let it through anyway. Not to mention the South teams have let Pantheon through a lot more. We saw when it was locked in. It's got a 5-5 record across both conferences this split. So I think Red considers that essentially a jungle trade so they could get Rumble priority.
I would also say the Trundle here kind of dissuades you from picking the Ornn. Ornn is a very common answer into Rumble. But if you have the Trundle already kind of pre-picked, it kind of dissuades you from the more tanky option.
Okay, on the Shopify side, we are going to get the Yone locked in for Palafox. This is historically one of his best picks. Also, the Aurora locked in there for Fudge. A lot of Northern top laners have been shy about playing the Aurora in that flex position. Fudge is one, even on the lounge. When we were seeing the clips before Raz's solo Q1, we did see a clip from a Shopify game where Fudge was piloting the Aurora.
Yeah, and there also has been some extra talk as well. Talkers, the new coach on Red, does kind of have a theory of in your playing Fearless in a best of 5, leave open a lot of power picks early on and get them out of the way so that you don't have to ban them down the line. So if you're looking at Shopify, though, you're thinking, hey, these are a lot of power picks for them to be able to play side lanes and be able to look to collapse for some of those pincer team fights. But we get one of those melee assassins for Kaze, the Akali.
Yeah, this is definitely something they're okay opting into if they've done their prep, because if you watch the playoffs in the North, Palafox wasn't really allowed to play Yone. As Flowers has mentioned, it's one of his best champions. Kaze does love the melee matchups, though, and they're gonna throw down a bunch of hands checks at the start of this game. Rumble into Aurora is going to be a very aggressive lane when the Aurora tries to push the Rumble in, and Akali versus Yone can be very snowbally. I like having the Pantheon on the Yone side, personally.
And if you want to talk about hands checks, they want to remove B-Voy's hands from being allowed to pilot that Lucian. This is one of his best champions.
Remove his hands, holy.
Yes, there's no hands allowed on the Lucian in this game for B-Voy. That one is taken off the table by Red Canids here in the second half, with the Alistar also being banned away by Shopify's side. Everybody's focusing on these bottom lane duos since the solo laners and junglers have been locked in for both sides. I do believe that might be a graphics error, or Red Canids may have missed their 5th and final ban.
Looks like a graphics error. They banned the Rakan. We'll just have to wait for that to show up. But yeah, it is Lucian Rakan banned, Alistar banned, and currently waiting on Shopify's last ban. So hopefully that one locks in correctly.
Yeah, thinking about how quick can they get the engage, because Shopify have so much dive potential here with their first 3 picks. So I think that is a wise Rakan ban from Red. Get it out of the way. Bottom lane, still trying to take out the Corki here as well.
Smart that Shopify takes that out of both AD Carry's hands.
Yes.
We were looking at some stats earlier. For as much as B-Boy has a 7-0 record on Lucian, he's 0-7 on Corki somehow. So just get rid of that. Don't need the Rebello or B-Boy to have it.
His Lucian is the absolute value of his Corki. The Corki is very far here in the negative, the Lucian very far in the positive, and Red Canids are going to go with some powerful AoE engage, the Rel that'll combo super nicely with this Rumble.
Yeah, one of the classic combos there with the Rumble, and you do need some engage on this squad since Trundle is their jungler and Pillar is good for slowing people, but you really do need that team fight that's going to bring it all together, so Frosty's going to try and do that for them. Plus, it kind of takes away the possibility that Shopify could use it as well. It's another really good combo with Kai'Sa, but they could just go like Nautilus or something here for the Shopify side, get their point-and-click ultimate, or something AoE and respond here with also a stronger lane.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more Kai'Sa-Nico pairings, I think partially because sometimes the Kai'Sa, if you're going to blind it, can get outranged by things like Varus, but if you bring Nico into a melee support, you can still get some lane prio while still having the Kai'Sa, which they really want to combo with Yone, Aurora, Pantheon, and have the Kai'Sa mobility to dash around and avoid the Akali and the Rumble, who will be shooting for her in teamfights.
I will say the last pick Varus here is bold because you're picking a Varus into an Aurora, Pantheon, Yone, and Nico, all looking to dive you. So, you know, good luck, Rebello. Trying to stay safe there.
Probably lethality Varus. He's probably going to try and stay really far back.
Cross-screen arrows.
There's literally zero reason to do on hit. There is like no health tank on the enemy team. So yes, I would say you are free to bet all of your money, chat. Your entire network.
Are there any takers on hit Varus?
There's got to be somebody in Twitch chat who'd take that gambit. There's a lot of them in there looking to press their luck. But how do you guys feel overall about how the compositions match up here? Is it edge to Shopify or is it pretty even?
I think it's edge to Shopify because personally I really like dual divers with Aurora plus Yone, and then just going even further on that, I really do think their bottom lane, rounded out the comp quite well. So I think game number one, the draft is in their favor, and we'll see if those things not being left up later in Fearless, will have ramifications later in the series.
With that being said, though, Kobe, the burden of execution is on Shopify. It is 5 engaged champions in a lot of ways that have very few tank stats. So if they fall a little bit behind, or if they don't have crisp execution on their engages, I feel like the red composition is going to be easier because the Rel is a very telegraphed, tanky engage in the front line, not to mention the baseline of Trundle if things get messy. I think the red composition has a lot of pros as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's just that there's two people in particular. Playing Trundle here and playing Varus here don't seem like the best positions for those champs. So we'll see.
Yeah.
They can outplay though. They definitely have a lot of outplay options. Just have to keep in mind the Pantheon semi-global at all times too to worry about those picks.
So for a lot of North American fans, I know that when we see Brazil each year, when we go to international competition and face them, for a lot of North American fans, when you think of Brazil, you think of high-octane, in-your-face, frequent PvP types of games. Yesterday for 100 Thieves versus Pain, game number 1 was actually a pretty slow burn at the start. So I'm curious if Red Canids are going to want to play this first one slow, kind of get a feel for what Shopify's bringing, or if we're just going to get super fast-paced, pedal-to-the-metal League of Legends.
I think usually whether you want to play fast or not, the first game in a new environment, especially in elimination series, is going to be a little bit slower. But I also want to introduce us a bit to Red for the fans in the North here, because they did have a very interesting road here and some more history about the team. So they have been a team since 2016. As we mentioned before, they are the 2nd seed from the LTA South, but then also 20 years old, 19 years old, 21 years old, and 20 years old after you get past FNB, who's the veteran, the top laner. And because they had a rough start to the year is actually why they added all these young players from their academy team that led to their big resurgence.
Yeah, and their academy team did win first place in Tier 2 in order to earn this triple promotion. They had Doom subbing in a couple games first, and then committed fully to having all 3 of them, and it really has just completely changed the look of the team, especially their mid laner. A lot of focus on Kaze here to see what he can do, especially on Akali.
Okay, so tracking our junglers, we are starting on opposite sides of the map here, both of them beginning in their respective red quadrants. Contracts just ticking level 3 there as he clears past the chicken camp. Doom at a very similar pace, moving towards that bottom side of the map, but it is Shopify Rebellion who have controlled the push down here in this bottom lane, and this is kind of just showing what you were talking about earlier, Jat. Like when you have the Varus, you don't want to constantly be outranged just because you're playing Kai'Sa, so the duo with the Nico just allows you to have that extra control and maintain priority over the wave.
And I feel like there's going to be a lot of confidence from Shopify Rebellion in these matchups as well, based off of what's happened North versus South so far this year. It was 8-1 in Split 1 when the North teams went down to Brazil, and so far it is 3-0, even though those games were close. So until proven otherwise on stage, Shopify and the North should be playing with a lot of confidence in these matchups.
Yep. Okay, current count 11-1 then.
11-1. That's
Okay.
some powerful stuff. That's greater than a 90% win rate. It's like a 92 or something.
I'm still going to predict 3-1 in every single series. Just because
You just have a default plan.
I mean, I just feel like there's so much variance that can be injected in these games by teams from the South, especially with the way that Red play, taking so many fights that are confusing that they're taking them, but it's because they always think they're going to win the fights, which if you're not prepared for and playing a disciplined game, can definitely punish you.
All right, well, Palafox on his first back had enough for his refillable, plus no magic mantle here, getting the early magic resist against Akali. For once Akali starts to get level 5, she like tries to soften you up and prep you for possible plays on her ultimate on level 6, and so he's got his defenses in place.
I also want to talk about the top lane as Seos is getting a little cheeky with the recall interrupt, but this top lane where FNB, we have some Rumble stats from his time in the South.
Pretty good.
I believe he's been pretty good on Rumble. Actually, my broadcast stats button is unfortunately not working for this one, so I trolled you. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong screen. 13-3 on Rumble. But Fudge is doing very well in the Aurora. He's had him pushed in this entire time and is applying a lot of pressure.
And this is kind of one of the things that I mentioned back in the draft. There have been a lot of Northern top laners who have been shy about taking the Aurora into that lane in particular. Fudge is not one of them. He has had some games on this champion before. We know how powerful and oppressive it can be into a good matchup just because it is one of those ranged top laners with huge amounts of burst. It's deceptive and hard to lock it down and actually be able to punish it. So if Fudge can keep playing this aggressively while avoiding whatever the counterpunch is from Red Canids, life is going to stay pretty difficult up here for FNB.
Okay, so we've got both junglers here actually, just out of vision. Yeah, Doom hovering to make sure that Kaze finishes his push in. Contracts was coming by to make a little swipe at him, but those minions do start dying to the tower, so dropping a couple there for Palafox. Now he's trying to pull these other ones here to make sure they don't crash in.
And there they go. Easy peasy. Little ranged minions paused right outside that tower. Aggro range exactly where they want them. You can see biggest individual gold leads so far during these first 5 minutes of play are there for Kaze in the mid lane with his Akali, and bottom side down there for B-Boy's Kai'Sa. This is going to be a big one, I think, for Shopify Rebellion. Whenever you see Kai'Sa, you know you are going to get action-packed AD carry gameplay because she's joining the divers. B-Boy's going to be jumping in there, and I really want to see him lock in, have the right positioning, the right timings going in with Palafox, with Seos for these big pop blossoms, because Shopify Rebellion has so many engaged tools. I want to see them picking fights.
I kind of like this from Doom. They're bottom lane pushing in, so he's able to start up the dragon here. Meanwhile, Contracts is kind of on the top side of the map looking. Does get a solo flash here. Good job from Fudge.
Yeah, Fudge making sure he can aggressively use that Aurora ult there as soon as he sees the opportunity. FNB now without the flash. His teleport was already used earlier and he's down to 1/3 HP. FNB has to fall back.
Yeah, it's an uncontested dragon they're giving up for this though, because Pantheon was topside and Trundle just started this very early. So Contracts is going to hope to get something done, at the very least making him recall and lose this whole wave top lane, which will hopefully pay off for Shopify later in the game, because giving over an early Mountain Drake when there's such an engaged burst-focused team, it's a really nice Drake for Red to have.
Yeah, I like the fact that they went for it that early, seizing the opportunity, taking control over that, using the bottom lane priority to just guarantee that Shopify Rebellion doesn't have anything to say about it. And they get it so early that it also means you're not compromising your possible position on the grubs afterwards either. It's still about 60 seconds until those grubs spawn. Plenty of time for everybody on Red Canids to go back, make their purchases, get their resets, and get get back out onto the map in time to contest for that highly contested neutral objective. Palafox again, though, these trades in the mid lane, that Akali damage is rough.
Yeah, good job there from Kaze. Nice little trade from him. Palafox chugging away on his refillable potions, but he's going to be dry. Both of his charges will be used, and Kaze still has both of his ready. So we've got the swap going down here for the Grub fight. Both of the duo lanes heading up to the top side, as we're only 15 seconds away from the spawn of these. The mid lane trades are kind of meaningful for the setup for this fight.
Now, one thing that's also worth noting, both top laners, because they have moved into that lane swap state, neither one of them has their teleport coming back off cooldown in any reasonable amount of time. It's still going to be a couple of minutes on both of those, so that means that Fudge and FNB both cannot participate unless they take a long walk up here for this Grub fight. Doom is going to pass by mid lane here. He sees the opportunity on Palafox. The Fate Seal is going to get blocked by Kaze, and it's first blood for Red Canids Kalunga.
Great job from Kaze there. Gets right in on Palafox. He goes back where his soul is unbound from, and then he's able to get in there, invade the ultimate contracts.
Doom having to flash away from that one. Did not want to get caught out there, but now Contracts could be in some danger. The Subjugate has already been used. Chains of Corruption here for the follow-up. Contracts get picked, and Red Canids working some magic.
And Red is always willing to fight. Also got to say, very disrespectful move by Contracts there. They were down a player. Palafox wasn't respawned yet, can't teleport back when he's still dead, so it is a 4v3. Palafox is engaged, just gets flashed out, and Red has all the time in the world to turn it back around, so they take a nice early kill lead in this game.
Palafox and Seos now looking to see if they can get any punish here on Doom. Nice little binding as Contracts jumps in here too. A little bit more damage, seals the deal. Palafox taking the kill on that one as Shopify make their way onto the board. They will catch the Red Canids jungler as he tries to finish off the last part of the Grub pack. So Shopify keeping this game close.
Yeah, people were expecting a bloody game and going to keep these fights going. Again, the Pantheon Ultimate that we mentioned, the tool that's enabling Shopify to get one back here in terms of kills and in terms of grubs, but Red still up here with 2 objectives, with getting the 2 grubs means that plus the Mountain Dragons, setting them up for the objective feats and ahead in the kills as well.
But interestingly enough, Shopify is ahead in gold. So the wave that...
A lot of fudge.
Yeah, the wave that
Fudge
got enough, but they're going for Palafox again. Soul unbound.
He ought to be fine. The Shuriken flip tags him, but he's too close to the turret. Immediately, if Kaze tried to jump in there, would have taken a lot of damage from that.
Yeah, he rushed into the Hex Drinker to try and deal with all this burst damage from Akali, but Kaze is feeling so good on Proto Belt plus the Dark Seal. Triple stacks for him.
Oh, Palafox again being forced to use that defensive Fate Sealed. The Yone ulti never being available just severely limits Palafox's playmaking.
Yeah, as you mentioned, big item disadvantage for Palafox right now. And if there is a window for Red to be winning this one, it might be through the mid lane. And these are obviously conference-specific stats, so take it with that grain of salt. But Kaze has been performing at an extremely high level, especially that gold difference at 14. So the early game, the laning phase, has really been his strength, and I think we're seeing why so far in this game.
Palafox is going to have to lock in, make sure he's ready for this Akali as the game keeps going forward. We do have 45 seconds until that next Drake spawns. Remember that it was Red Canids taking the first one, no contest out of Shopify. If they get one more neutral objective, they will also secure that progress towards the feats of strength. As Doom is hanging around up here, seeing if maybe there's a move to be made, but you're also going to see the Nico clone from Seos doing a little bit of scouting, making sure that Red Canids doesn't have anything planned. Palafox wants to step up, try to continue these short bursty trades with Kaze, but Kaze's just waiting in the smoke on the Soul Unbound. Shuriken flip, finds some burst. Palafox has already lost the Hex Drinker shield, but Kaze has to flash away. Now Seos wants to follow this up, see if he might be able to catch this out, find the full punish. Kaze's still walking, he does not have his flash. One more auto attack's gonna do it. Seos gets the kill, and that's another one for Shopify Rebellion, but now FNB's made his way up to the fight. Palafox is already cooked, and Seos is next on the menu. Frosty jumps towards him. It's a double kill to FNB. Back in the mid lane, we're not done yet, as Rebello has to try to get away from Contracts, but Doom is right next to him, and he's ready to turn this play around. Red Canids, 5-2. Shopify Rebellion is made to look foolish. foolish as Brazil came to play.
The teleport from FNB. Rumble gets up there and collects both of the kills, taking down Palafox, taking down Seos, and really boosting this gold lead for Red.
Any advantage that Fudge may have accumulated over FNB in the laning phase has been reversed with that teleport play. He gets plates after the fight as well. Now 600 gold up on the Aurora, and as you mentioned, Flowers, 5 kills to 2.
Okay, so we're going to look at it again. Again, these trades, Kaze has been whittling down Palafox, kind of prepping him for a lot of these plays, and this is going to be his attempt on the tower dive.
Yeah, you can see lands the E on the Soul Unbound, but then really tries to get the angle, probably takes one more turret shot than he wants to. The chase here from Seos is very telegraphed, and I'd say worth it to go for the kill, not worth it for Palafox to back this up. He's already flashless, altless, and on about 300 health, so they're extremely vulnerable once the teleport comes in.
Yeah, I mean, the teleport right there, channeling in the Pixel Brush the entire time, and they just walk right up. But then we have a further skirmish in the mid lane,
Yep.
and we know that the junglers still do not have flashes. So when you all commit like this, you know, and the barrier is there for Rebello, so he was just fine in it.
And when Trundle can walk up to you, press R, and start chomping you, you evaporate. Contract use the E early. Another fight,
We're not done. Red Canids trying to fall back into their own jungle now as Shopify Rebellion press forward. Focused onto Frosty here for the start. Subjugate comes in from Doom. Frosty is already down. Shopify have found 2. Rebello also dead. Kaze tries to get away, but B-Boy is on the hunt. Seos cuts off the escape, and Fudge has Doom trapped underneath the turret. It's 3 kills for 1 for Shopify Rebellion, and they're right back in it.
This time it's Shopify teleporting in. They teleport Palafox in. They force the fight. They collect the dragon in the aftermath. And just like that, they deleted the 1,000 gold lead.
Let's go. And this is exactly what it was like when I was checking out the Red Canids games over in the South. There'd be a replay, you'd come out, and they'd be fighting again. So we're getting exactly that full experience right here. Let's see how this one actually started. This Contracts is camped on the control ward, and him and Fudge get the jump on the Trundle, knowing he's flashless and altless, which is a good start to the fight, Kobe.
Yeah, Kaze actually does a decent chunk on Fudge there. He gets out a good amount of damage. Then he has to go over the wall with his ult. His E Shuriken follows Palafox to kill him though. But up on the top side, Seos and B-Boy already deleted the Varus, and B-Boy knows that he can then flash to clean up that Akali that just took down 1.
And the big thing there is the teleport that FNB used earlier to get the 2 kills. He didn't have for that fight, and it meant he couldn't make it there. It was a 5v4 the whole time.
All right, we are seeing plays from both sides rapidly in this game. Remember that fans can still cast their ballots for the Kia Player of the Year, Kia Rookie of the Year, and Kia All-Pro teams using the QR code on your screen right now. So if you're liking what you're seeing, if you're liking some bloody League of Legends, particularly in the mid lane, the race for that All-Pro is coming down to the wire. So make sure you get your votes in now. I'm honestly really impressed that I was able to finish reading that out without another team fight occurring, because I feel like both teams are just so ready to keep going. We still do not have the Feats of Warfare awarded. It's credit towards the kills for Red Canids. Nobody's got the first turret. Red Canids have 2 neutral objectives. Shopify only have the 1, but the Rift Herald is on the map.
Okay, right now too, Fudge was kind of hovering through the jungle, thinking if Shopify wanted to make on play on mid or not. They decide, they call off the play on mid, and Fudge just goes back to the bottom wave. But his teleport is ready, so both him and FNB will have easy times joining this fight. Kaze as well has his ready, so if they decide that they really want those feats and they go for the Herald fight, Flowers, then it could be another 10-person banger.
Yeah,
all right.
Kaze a big threat, but you look like Palafox is going for one.
Yeah, they want Rebello instead. Contracts tries to make his entry, but a nice chains of corruption from Rebello slows it down. Contracts still surviving for now, but it is a 1-for-1 off to the side. Palafox going to be focused at the same time. B-Boy's already down 2. Shopify Rebellion have already lost 3 men. And Red Canids aren't done yet. Kaze looks for a little bit more, but Fudge gets him back. The Aurora trying to be the hero. Fudge still here in the front line. A double kill over to Fudge. It's going to be another one dead. There are so many dead bodies on Summoner's Rift. It looks like a graveyard.
9 down. Only Doom is still alive because Doom was focusing on the objectives. Doom wants those feet, Flowers. He wants those shoes upgrade.
He's got them.
Classic jungler experience. Guys, let's focus the objective. As everybody else in the whole game dies, let's watch this.
Dive.
I mean, the engage was okay. Contracts gets one shot. I'd say Kaze extremely clean, dodging out of the Nico ultimate, but the fight could just be over here. Huge win for Red. They continue to want to fight, though. Fudge does a great job turning this one around with the Aurora ultimate. Again, it should probably be done here, and they go for it again.
Yeah, FMB flashes under the turret to get both of them. He does kill them both off.
Worth.
But ends up dying, and the team grabs the objective, so the Herald...
My goodness.
That... a 9-death team fight at Rift Herald.
That wasn't even at Rift Herald. That was in mid lane, buddy.
At mid lane while Rift Herald was alive.
Yes, and while someone's doing it.
All right, Doom now in a little bit of danger here. He gets rooted by Seos, but he'll just continue walking away. Contracts and B-Boy aren't close enough to follow up on that as FNB clears out the wave, keeps protecting that tier 1 turret down there in the bottom lane. Red Canids have their powered up shoes, so it's not like the first turret means anything more than just the turret itself. It is still about a 700, 800 gold lead here for Shopify Rebellion, and it's less than a minute until the next Drake spawns, which means it's less than a minute until the next team fight.
Yeah, maybe faster with how it's going. But I would say the execution from Shopify does need to be clean, especially with all the gold that's in the pockets of Red now. If Frosty gets a good ultimate onto a group, and now the 5-kill Rumble who's stacking out items throws something down on top of that, they're going to take everyone into execute range for Kaze's Akali. So I really think that Shopify need to look fairly diligently for these side lane picks, because there are still squishy champions on the side of Red. They have the Pantheon ultimate, but if they end up fighting into the Trundle and the Rel, I think Shopify is going to have a hard time.
Yeah, I think, too, they really need to mark this Akali. Kaze was kind of running circles around him, juking Seos' ultimate out there. If they can actually mark the Akali, then their chances will be a lot higher.
Okay, 1 minute until Otacon. I'm sure that one is going to become a very eventful affair in this game as well, but that Drake is currently up, so we'll see who decides to prioritize that first as FNB ganked by Contracts here. Fudge providing the extra burst, and the redemption will not heal him in time. Shopify get the pick.
One of the reasons why people highly prioritize this Pantheon, those picks in the side lane, able to use it and take down FNB. The Rumble had just gotten a very powerful 2-item power spike with the Bloodletter's Curse finished, and the stacks on his Dark Seal really starting to stack up. So they take down the stacks, and they start up the objective.
They probably should be able to take this one, but Akali's on the way, and Palafox is still pushing top, so Red might fancy their chances trying to contest this.
Doom was standing by the blast cone. Red Cannon stepping up. Seos goes in, finds the Pop Blossom, but it's only onto a single target, and it's Doom. He hops into the Rift Herald trying to get away. Kaze assassinates Seos in the backline at the same time. Red Cannons in a 4v5 are winning the fight. Contracts dies too. Kaze's still alive. Palafox at least gets one back, but the One can't get away. He tries to flash over the wall, but he misses the mark. The blast cone knocks Doom back over, and now Palafox running the damage onto Frosty. Shopify Rebellion are getting kills back. Fudge is back into the pit trying to kill Doom. Palafox gets flashed onto the wall as Doom escapes. It's 15 to 13, 20 minutes into the game.
What is going on? Fudge is still on the run from the Rumble as well.
That is League of Legends right there. Fudge gonna circle around with the Aurora double. He's on a ward though.
See him.
He's on a wall.
He gets equalized. He tries to go across the veil. He's trying to get away from this one. He should still be alive. Seos is alive.
Okay, so the problem for Shopify there is that when Seos went for the ultimate on Rebello had a good flash disengage. It only caught Frosty, and then Contracts used his stun on Frosty as well, on the Rel. And so a lot was used on the Rel, but Rebello had flashed out and was able to actually win versus B-Boy in the backline as well.
Well, it's because Doom flew in the Rift Herald to join the fight as well, so it ended up being a 2v1 for B-Boy in the backline. B-Boy had an early advantage, but he's falling a little bit behind here. They really need him to be strong. So when he ults in these backlines, he's able to get a kill. Dragon's still up. The teams have actually redeployed to the waves temporarily, but we're going to get a fight at any moment. Make sure you're catching your breath and drinking your water flowers.
Yep, don't worry. We've got 3 different waters here. I'm making sure that I'm staying hydrated for this one. B-Boy, though, he gets caught out by Frosty. The chains of corruption to follow it up from Rebello. B-Boy tried as hard as he could, but nice catch there from Red Canids, and now they're going to take the Drake too.
I think he felt safe because Contracts had just passed through River and gone up to this position here. But he didn't check the brush that was the line brush between River and mid lane, and so there's a control ward and a rail sitting in it, and he gets engaged on. That's going to be Dragon for Red as well. Another objective cleanly earned.
So clean. So clean here in game number 1. You know, coming into this, we were expecting game number 1 to be the slower paced one.
They have started the Otacon.
They're warmed up.
Oh boy, yeah, we're already going in on this.
Only Palafox.
Palafox is having an honorable 1v1 with Dark Souls boss Otacon, but he's immediately deciding to just walk back through the fog on that one, as Shopify do not want to overextend at the Otacon here.
It's kind of nice. It drew everybody up towards the top lane and let Fudge take that turret uncontested. He's now clearing another wave. So with being 3 kills down, Shopify still even in gold. So we still have a lot of League of Legends to play. Like, despite there being 29 kills, this by no means resolves anything. We have no idea who's going to win game 1.
It's a close game, man. 500 gold, 22 minutes into the game. Whether the score is 29 kills or 2 kills. Here we go. All right, Palafox deciding it's time to try out the boss fight once more. Kaze is still hanging around up here. You can see the Nico clone being used for the powerful vision that it provides. Palafox just trying to keep Otacon dragged as far to the left as he can without making him fully lose his patience. But Otacon also hit the minion wave there, so that means that Red Canids are probably going to have that automatically keep pushing forward. Palafox once more deciding he does not want to keep up this duel with Otacon.
I mean, he's got a Bork too, so he can heal most of it back on the wave. He's about 1,000 health down at the moment though, so definitely a little questionable, but he's, you know, he's buying time for Fudge. Technically, there's still no one matching him in the bot lane.
He was seeing if there was a sneak angle, and there has not been a sneak angle.
There were security cameras on the Otacon. He could not sneak in, but he goes in for the fate sealed on Kaze now. Kaze and Frosty both trying to escape from this one. As Contracts arrives, Frosty with a defensive crash down into the Magnet Storm. A little bit more burst should do it, and the redemption can't keep him alive. Fudge goes on a killing spree. Now Fudge popping the stasis to survive FNB's counterattack, and FNB's down 2. Rebello is assassinated by B-Boy off to the side. That's 3 kills for nothing. Shopify Rebellion.
And most importantly, Palafox can now take down Otacon.
Yes,
he's just been practicing. I mean, but honestly, this was a really good play by Shopify. Palafox saw that angle and just absolutely went for it before Red was grouped up. Shopify starts the fight before Red is ready for it and get a very easy 3-0. The thing I want to shout out in this fight is actually a beautifully timed Seeker's Arm Guard activation by Fudge to stop the re-engage, but an easy fight win for Shopify.
Yeah, so Palafox moves on up here. They're going to start channeling their teleport as soon as they confirm that his ultimate did hit Kaze, and they let loose with the Pantheon ultimate once again so they can go for the full chase. But here is what you're talking about. Fudge gets hit by the Varus ultimate, and you think, oh, he is just cooked right now, but thankfully for him, he does have the Arm Guard activation.
And then on the bottom side of the fight, B-Boy essentially gets a solo kill onto Rebello. That's what you want in the Kai'Sa versus Varus matchup. You want to be able to close to melee range and just 1v1 duel him. And I think because they pulled everyone up towards Fudge, it gave B-Boy that angle.
Yeah, when everyone is looking up at the fight that's taking place in transition, they sometimes get caught there unawares. And now Shopify, with the Otacon buff, as well as increasing the gold lead here, are looking to spread the map. This is from Champion Select, what we thought was going to be one of the big strengths here for this comp for Shopify. They've got the Yone and the Aurora to split push, and Pantheon Ultimate here to look for picks. But Palafox seems to be the one getting picked.
Yes, Palafox now finds himself on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift, and FNB and Doom are on the hunt. Palafox wants to use the teleport to get away, and he successfully makes enough distance to do it. He's joining up with the rest of Shopify, who have started the Baron. Doom is on the other side of the map. The Baron is already down to half HP. Red Canids coming in as Kaze goes through the Hex Gate. The Baron's still down to about 2,000. Red trying to steal it away, but Contract secures it. Kaze looking for the back line, but instead he's going to be locked up by Seos. Contract's trying to duel Frosty off to the side, but now he's got to flash away just to survive. B-Boy's going to be the next target. Doom hunting him down. FNB with a flash over the wall. He's ready to look for more. Fudge still running. Palafox wants to turn it around, and Doom takes a lot of damage, but it is not enough. The Q3 does not connect. It's Baron over to Shopify at the cost of B-Boy.
That's still a good play net for Shopify, and it's all kicked off by Palafox pushing like a maniac in the sideline, drawing all the pressure and giving them time to burn the Baron. There is a bit of a rule, like when it's past 25 minutes, if your jungler shows bottom lane, you can lose Baron. So that's what happens here, and Shopify started immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that is the jungler, and from the indicator, that is the Rumble with no teleport. So they committed 2 people that have no way of getting back to the Baron to try and pick off the split pusher that's furthest away, and then Shopify, the call is clear. You definitely burn it here. Yes, there is a Varus, but you got to hit those smites, and Contracts does.
Man, gets the stun onto Kaze at the end, but they can't quite execute him. We got a lot of action coming up very soon, though, with the next Drake being up.
Yep, the Nico clone going to check the brush. Red Canids, you can tell they want to fight for it. I don't know if there's been any objective that they don't want to fight for so far in this game, but it is a 3,000 gold lead, plus the extra power from Baron for Shopify here for the next 90 seconds.
The common theme before a lot of these fights, though, is Shopify has the waves pushed. So whenever these fights happen, Shopify is winning on tempo. They've done the same thing here. Top lane's pushed, mid lane's pushed in, Palafox pushed out bottom lane before shadowing here to the river. So Shopify has more possibilities of getting the right angle for a fight.
Yeah, they've had better allocations, and again, that is their point with this comp to push the map. And now, though, grouping everybody up with the Baron buff, the Baron buff is going to be enough to really whittle this tower down. It just barely does stay alive, and there we go. Doom is kind of walking in. See if they can actually finish the dragon. They've got Palafox just working away at it himself. He should be able to clean it up easily.
Exactly. Palafox's job is to kill neutral objectives this game. First it was the Otacon, now he's the Dragon Man.
And, I mean, again, the Yone on the split push there, the best part about the play is the escape, because that's the, like, unsure part. The being able to get his full ultimate into an instant teleport channel after knowing that the Trundle pillar was already used. And, of course, there's no more CC with either of those 2 champions. That's what really makes it click.
Yeah, and I want to give credit. The fight they won before the Otacon was started by Palafox. The Baron that they got was started by Palafox playing in the side lane and avoiding getting executed. So despite being 2-5 and not having massive teamfight moments, he's made a couple of game-altering plays for the positive way for Shopify here.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. Also, because you pointed it out and how important it was when he used it last, the Seeker's arm guard from Fudge, he broke that, it managed to survive the fight for him, and then right after that fight, he had enough money to purchase the fully upgraded Zhonya. So Fudge will be able to do that in every future team fight, as Red Canids are now scrambling to try to defend their own side of the jungle. They don't want to allow Shopify to continue choking them out of vision. Kaze still always looking for these flank angles. He knows he's on a control ward, so Shopify do not have vision of it.
Yeah, I mean, Red have been going like 50-50 in the actual fights, but the macro has been the struggle. Here we go, Kaze.
All right, Kaze wants to go in after Seos, but he jumps back in time for the Pop Blossom to interrupt him. It's still not enough, and Seos is down. Contract's the next target here as the Red Canids are not done yet. Contract survives for a little while, but it's 2-0, Red.
Yeah, the actual fights, though, they're looking good. They get the pick here on the exit. They had, Akali waiting in the tri-brush, and did result in a couple of picks. We'll see what this is about.
Yeah, really interesting to figure out what this pause was, because it looked like a pretty straightforward fight by Red. Maybe it's a peripheral issue, I would hope, rather than some type of in-game bug that they're suspecting, because overall, this game has been as bloody as we would hope for with how many fights we have. And I think you have an update, Flowers?
Yeah, the update on the pause is that Contracts apparently accidentally kicked the monitor cable, so his screen went black, and now they just need to plug the monitor cable back in so he can continue playing.
All right.
Acceptable.
So, yeah, just about the easiest pause we could ask for. Yeah, just plug the thing back in, and then we'll hopefully be back on the rift in just a second.
Don't kick it again.
Yeah.
That's the harder part.
Kicking it is that's the original problem.
Plugging it back in is easy.
Yeah, he never stopped moving during the fight. Sometimes it can get a little rough where, like, if your screen blanks out before the fight, you might consider some type of chrono break or something, but this seems as straightforward as possible.
Yeah, sometimes when your screen is black, it does get a little hard to play.
Well, exactly, he was dead as well, so it's easy. You can still click when your screen's off. All right, we're back in.
Okay, we're getting back into the game now. We still have an incredibly bloody game number 1. It is 35 kills, and despite Shopify having the 2,500 gold lead, despite the Drakes being even, Red Canids is still ahead in kills 19-16.
And also, I want to just check on the gold for these guys so far this game. Fudge way ahead of everybody else. He's been cleaning up on this Aurora, and his bursts and his flanks are the biggest thing to watch for. I'd also say down at the bottom, their contracts a little bit squishy when he flies into these fights. They really need to make sure that they're playing quickly off of his engages, because I still would say if it's a really organized 5v5 fight, the Rumble, the Rel, the Trundle do have a lot of power, so Shopify have to continue to execute these fights quickly.
Big thing about that total goal, I don't think Palafox should be able to find a whole lot more here unless Kaze just takes him out. Palafox snaps back, and Kaze takes him down. Nicely done there for the right Canids mid laner, but now B-Boy gets one back. Assassination through the Acathian Rain Killer Instinct combo. Frosty's coming around from the side, but immediately Contracts ults in. Doom's going to be your target, but FNB turns on the afterburners. Doom still barely hanging on. Contracts chases after FNB for another stun, but the Redemption heals the Rumble up a little bit, but not enough. Frosty drops next. Two-man pop blossom from Seos. Shopify Rebellion wipe the Canids off the map.
Another play by the genius midfielder.
People just don't understand.
He set up the ace.
I mean, in a sense, he did. He got Kaze in a bad situation. The fight ended up being chaotic. I would say during the chase, a couple of critical things. Rebello, the fight moved away from the Varus, and the Otacon AoE damage and slow was really important in this fight, Kobe.
Okay, so the critical thing is, of course, Fudge. You just showed the gold and Fudge being at the top. Fudge just teleport in. This is Avengers Assemble. B-Boy ults in, Fudge teleports in. Varus misses the ultimate from up here. Fudge and Contracts decide, we're just going all in. That was the ultimate, and Fudge uses his Zonias again, but they can then chase around the corner, and then Contracts has the confidence here on Pantheon to keep going into it because they still have the follow-up. Seos' ultimate is still ready to catch the rest of them.
Yeah, and as you saw with these people dying, the AoE slow kept catching them, which made the chase a little bit easier. Palafox knows the stats are not going to reflect his impact this game.
5D chess.
Yeah. I may have gotten solo killed. I had 0 assists in this fight, but we aced him.
But he set it up.
He did have one on the Akali for sure.
Oh, true. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I apologize.
None of this revisionist history.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we're giving the credit. 21-20 now. Shopify have finally seized control over the kill count. They are still 5,000 gold ahead. They've got twice as many flower petals as Red Canids do as well, with a 28-14 count in that. So just more extra stats that they have up over the Canids. Guardian Angel now completed for Contracts. Also a very important purchase. I expect to see some YOLO Pantheon ultis coming up here. Up soon here.
And honestly, too, Palafox here is level 16 with the triple item crit power spike with Infinity Edge on the Yone. So definitely a very, very threatening.
And alongside it, Seeker's Arm Guard for B-Boy. So everybody has the I'm going to go in and not get punished buttons ready to lock.
I will say at the end of the day, if you're on Shopify and they win this game, you're honoring Fudge.
Yes.
Yeah. His discipline in the side lanes as well as his entrances to team fights is what's adding to this gold lead, but we have a fight mid.
Hold on now, we got a potential problem here as Fudge does get caught out. The stasis to try to keep himself alive a little bit longer. He goes between worlds and he gets away. Fudge still alive. Contracts in the middle of everybody as Palafox swoops in to try to help. Rebello's going to be bursted down as Frosty goes with them. Now Red Canids, their jungler and top laner can't get away. Kaze's about to get assassinated off to the side even without it. It's a triple kill over to Palafox. They thought they caught Fudge, but Fudge caught them. Palafox swooping around to try to get this last little bit of damage on the Kaze. Yone's revenge strikes true. It's an ace for Shopify.
You can't cast or curse Fudge, Kobe. That is a definite honor for Fudge. Shopify's going to take game 1.
It is 46 kills in 34 minutes, but Shopify Rebellion will claim victory in the first bloody battle of this best of 5.
I mean, that's just fun League of Legends right there.